For most of my professional trading career, I've traded from a physical trading floor. And in the past few years, I've run multiple trading floors in Glasgow. And that's been the core of my operations for everything trading and business related. And there was never really any necessity for an at-home setup. If you've been following my journey for the past few years, you'll know we started in a tiny office, and very quickly, in a short period of time, we scaled up to having a 12-man trading floor in the centre of Glasgow, where some of you may have even come and visited us. Now, it's been great, and we developed a core team of solid traders. But towards the end of 2022, some of our traders began to express the desire to move to working remote. And toward the end of 2022, I myself made the decision to start building an at-home office to facilitate a move to running a remote operation in 2023. So over the past couple of months, I've been working hard on getting my home office set up exactly how I want it. And that's exactly what we're going to be looking at in this video. Now, as always, I typically start off with my chair when I'm talking about my trading setup. The chair that I'm using is a Herman Miller Aeron Pro, and it's in the size B, which is like their medium size. On it, I have a headrest upgrade. It's a pretty expensive chair, but honestly, they're absolutely phenomenal. You can pick them up refurbished for a pretty good deal, but at retail, they're probably around about £1,500. I think having a good chair, especially if you're sitting at your desk, I can be sitting at my desk 8, maybe even 10 hours throughout the day. So you certainly want something that's going to be good for you, something that you're not going to get a sore back, something that's going to encourage good posture and that kind of thing. Now, moving on to the desk that I have in my home office setup. My desk is a sit-stand desk by a company called Autonomous. Now, Autonomous kindly sent me out this desk, and I have to say I was absolutely blown away by it. Not only was it incredibly easy to assemble, but it's also a really solid desk. Again, if trading and sitting at your desk is something that you're spending a lot of the day doing, having that option to be able to take my desk from sitting to standing is just something that I greatly value. I find myself, even in some of my most recent course videos, putting the desk to a standing position and just standing to talk to the members, or if I'm filming something or whatever. Even when I'm doing back testing and working through Excel spreadsheets throughout the day, I find putting that desk into the standing position can be a good way to kind of get the blood flowing. Now, the Autonomous desk that I have is not even their extra large desk. This is just their standard size desk, and it perfectly houses 5 of my screens, and I still have plenty of room for keyboard, notepads and all that kind of stuff. Now, the other good thing about it is, even in the standing position with all this weight on it, it's still really solid. I have this desk on carpet, so it's not going to be as solid as it would be on like a hardwood floor or something like that. But even on carpet, there is very little movement in this desk, even with all of the weight and all of the things that I have on top of it. I've looked at quite a few sit-stand desks over the past couple of years. I've toyed with the idea of getting one, but now that I have this one, I have to say I'm pretty sold on it. So again, I'll leave links to this kind of stuff in the description if you want to go and check them out. Now, moving on from the desk, the computer running this 5-monitor rig behind me is a multiple monitors trader PC. Now, I got this about 3 years ago, and in all honesty, it's starting to get a little bit tired. If I'm running multiple Excel spreadsheets with MetaTrader open, with TradingView open, with maybe a couple of Internet Explorer tabs or Google Chrome tabs, I do find that the computer begins to lag a little bit. I don't know if I need a bit more RAM or something like that. I'll hold my hands up and say I'm not really somebody who's very clued up on technology. But the computer does slow down from time to time. I'm sure they do have updated models that have come out in the past few years. Potentially it's time for me to upgrade my multiple monitors PC as well. But this PC is specifically designed for traders. The model is actually called the Trader PC, and I paid about £1,300 for this. Now, moving on to the monitor array that I have behind me, I use 5 Dell 24-inch screens, and the model is P2419H. I have 4 in a landscape orientation, and I have 1 just behind me here in a vertical orientation. That vertical monitor serves me pretty well for looking at news feeds on Twitter and that kind of thing. I can get plenty of information on that. I can look at multiple columns, and it helps keep me up to date with everything that's going on in the markets that isn't coming over the squawk, for example. And then the 4 monitors behind me, the left 2 always have my charts. I look at 16 markets. So all of my 16 markets are there on my left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, any spreadsheets, any, if I have YouTube open or whatever, that's always on the right-hand side. So that helps me keep everything arranged. I know where everything is. If you're building your own workspace, I would definitely recommend having a consistent monitor layout and designated monitors for different things. So the right-hand monitors for me are sort of general stuff, and the left-hand 3 monitors is always going to be my trading workspace. Now, also on my setup behind me, I have a webcam. I do live streams multiple times per week with my members here at KB Trading in our Discord. I also do, one-to-one mentoring and stuff like that. That webcam is pretty much essential for what I do. Obviously, this mic as well. This is a Shure SMB7. It's about a £400 mic, relatively expensive, but that's what I'm actually recording this video on right now. And when I do all of my morning calls with members and stuff like that, this is the mic that I use as well. So a good setup that allows me to record and to communicate with members, etc., is essential for what I do. Now, the mouse is, I think it's a GeForce or something like that, weighted mouse. It actually has, you can open the bottom of it and put in more weights. They give you a packet of weights with the mouse itself. That helps with like sensitivity and that kind of thing. But very, very comfortable mouse. Again, if you're sitting doing spreadsheets and that kind of thing all day, back testing, whatever it is, these little things that may not seem like a big deal, like what kind of mouse you have, I promise you they make a massive difference to how comfortable you are and how often and how frequently you're going to fatigue. I like to be able to sit, doing back testing or going through data on Excel for 6 hours at a time. Sometimes I can do 6, 7, even 8 hours without moving. I need my environment to facilitate that kind of work rate. The keyboard is just some generic light up gaming keyboard. I've honestly had this thing for years. It's probably one of the first keyboards I got. I don't see any need to update it really. I don't do a lot of typing. For those of you who use Excel, you'll know that the most frequently used buttons on a keyboard for someone that does Excel is the numerical keypad at the right hand side and that tab and escape. So that's pretty much all the buttons I use. Those buttons are probably going to get wore out before any other buttons on the keyboard, but right now the keyboard's going strong. Had it for years. I think it was like £5 or £10, but it's going strong. Now up on the walls to my right hand side, I simply have a Financial Times. Callum, who I kind of started KB with back in maybe 2019, for my birthday in 2020, I believe, he got me a bottle of whiskey and a newspaper, a Financial Times from the day that I was born. So I split that up into the appointments, the company, the markets, and the Financial Times itself, got it framed. And for the longest time, that was up on the walls on our trading floor. But when I was building the home office, I robbed them. So they've come with me and they're up on the wall right next to me. Now behind my trading setup, I have another desk. You're probably wondering why I have 2 desks. The second desk is for general business things or any media content that I want to put together. It saves me doing it on my trading setup and sort of bogging down this computer any more than it already is. So for that, I'm simply running it off of an Acer Nitro 5 gaming laptop that's hooked up to 2 screens. Those screens are another Dell 24-inch monitor, and to the left of my laptop, I simply have a flat panel USB monitor. Now, the flat panel USB, on that I can put like trading view charts. If I'm in trades, then I can sit at this desk, I can do business or media work on my laptop and on the screen to the right hand side. All the while I can keep an eye on what's going on for any positions that I'm in just to my left on that flat panel monitor. I can just keep an eye on it. If anything needs to be done, any trade management or whatever, of course I can just spin round and do that here. But if I have risk in the markets, I want to be able to keep an eye on it whilst I'm doing other things. Now, the desk that this setup's actually sitting on is not a desk at all. It's 2 filing cabinets that I got off of Amazon. They were about 60 quid each. And on top of that, I have a walnut desktop, which was about £80. So for about £200, I have another desk there. It's exactly what I wanted for this space. I couldn't find a desk that fit all of the criteria I wanted, so I just kind of chucked this together, bought the bits off of Amazon, chucked it together, and I think it looks pretty good. Now, to the left of that desk, I have a lamp that I got from IKEA. It was a little bit pricey. It was about £280. A little bit overkill for a lamp, but it's like wood, it's glass, there's marble on there and that kind of thing. And in all honesty, I think it adds a lot of like character to the room. When I'm in here and I don't want to have it super bright and overbearing, I can just chuck that lamp on. It's relatively relaxing, let a little bit of daylight through it as well. And I've got an environment that I'm comfortable and relaxed working in while still being productive. On the desk behind me, I use a wireless Bluetooth mouse. This laptop setup is something that I take with me when I go traveling with that flat panel monitor. Having a wireless mouse just makes it easy if you're in an airport or you're in a restaurant or something like that. You've not got cables everywhere. The wireless mouse, you can literally just stuff it in your bag. Nice and handy, nice and convenient, but it works well for that setup as well. And then tucked away in the corner of the desk, I simply have a watch stand. If I'm doing a lot of work and I'm at my desk for hours on end, wearing a watch can get a little bit uncomfortable, especially if you are typing or anything like that. So just having somewhere that I can chuck that out of the way, it's not lying in some obscure position, it's sitting there on that watch stand. This watch stand was like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 pounds. I got that online as well. And then last but not least, the last wall decoration I have is this framed picture of one of my favorite verses in all the Bible, Jeremiah 45:5. This is a verse that really spoke to me a few years ago when I was all caught up in the pursuit of all the kind of material things that seem to be glamorized in today's day and age. I was doing all the holidays and had the fast car and all that kind of stuff. And in all honesty, I was really wrapped up in myself. And when I heard this Bible verse, it just really, really spoke to me. It reminded me of why I'm here and why I have the things I have. Not to have a selfish pursuit of my own success and material gain. Well guys, that wraps up my overview of my home trading setup. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you do want to see more videos like this, do make sure to drop it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. If you're looking for trading education, or maybe you even want to join our Discord, I'll leave some links to that down in the description. We offer a variety of courses for beginners to professional traders. We also have a free and a paid Discord, so you can check that out as well. But as always, thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.